Hello, we are going to work on proportion portraits. You can see the layout of what proportions make up the face. Now, when we are drawing using proportion, I'm going to use an example of my face. You can see that from the top of my head to the bottom of my chin, my eyes are about halfway, my nose is halfway between my eyes and my chin, and my mouth is about 1/3 of the way down from my nose. My eyes are one eye width apart and also one eye width from the side. My eyebrows are one eye length above. And then I have a hairline. My mouth lines up with the middle of my eyes, and my nose lines up with the inside of the eyes. The ears line up with my eyes and my nose. So you can use these basic principles to draw any kind of face. And so you can see that I'm starting to use that to draw the face next to the first one that models the proportion. Remember that proportion is a way of describing what we see in relation to other things that we see. So if I know how wide and tall my subject's face is or their head, I can then say, well, I know that eyes are typically going to be one eye width apart. I know that typically they're going to be halfway down the face. Then I can start to create things based on the placement of those eyes, because I know the mouth is going to line up to the center of the eyes, and the nose, the width of the nose, is going to line up to the inside area of the eyes. And so whether I'm drawing digitally or I'm drawing on paper, I can use those ideas and explain them through my drawing. So you can see here when I started out my sketch, I created a line of symmetry because most faces are pretty symmetrical. I then create the sketch lines for where the eyes, nose, and mouth are going to go. I create my neck and my shoulders so that they come off the edge of my face, and then also the shoulders so that there's enough substance there to support the weight of what would be the head. Then I create the spacing for proportion of where the eyes are going to be, where the lines for the mouth are going to be, the ears, and the nose. Then I also make an indication of where the hairline is going to be, because the hairline is not the same as the crown or the top of the head. After I create all of those very light whisper lines, the next thing that I'm going to do is start to draw the details. You'll notice that with the eye, I am drawing the iris so that it is not the full circle of the iris. If you were to look in the mirror right now and you were to look at your eyes, you would not see the full circle of your iris unless your eyes were really bulging out. If you have your eyes open really wide, then you might be able to do that. Otherwise, your lid kind of catches part of that. Then for the lids, there's an upper lid and a lower lid for your eye as well. I'm also going to make a more definite eyebrow, which is one eye width above where your eyes are. Now for the nostrils and the nose, remember that the nostrils line up with the inside area of your eye, and then the nostrils and the bottom part of your nose, it's almost like you're creating a U shape with two parentheses on either side. Then I'm creating the mouth. The mouth, I'm going to start out with two smaller ovals and a larger oval to give the volume or mass of what the lips look like, and then have them draw out on either corner of the face. As I start creating my basic shapes, I can then use more specific and darker lines as I get more confident and sure of myself. So it's always good to start out light and sketchy and then gain that confidence and make your work darker. For the eyelashes, I have them going away from the center of the face. So they go out from the center area. I find that that makes them look more believable. Now, because I drew my lines so lightly, it's very easy for me to erase. Now with the ears, ears line up with the eyes as well as the nose. And so you can add in your value and detail for that as well. Once you have created your hairline, you want to start drawing the hair as though it's coming out of the scalp. So you'll notice that there is a volume and mass to that hairline coming away from the scalp. I can add more detail to it as I continue on with my work. I'm not having it perfect because oftentimes hair is not perfect, so I'm just creating it using a variety of lines. I'm also adding the collar for the shirt and the shoulders so that it looks like it can support the form. In addition to that, I'm going to use a variety of drawing pencils. These are darker drawing pencils. I know that they are dark because they have a higher number with the letter B after it, and higher the number B, the darker the pencil is. I'm also going to use a blending stump to blend in the value. You can use a paper towel or a Q-tip for this as well. So it's up to you to decide kind of what tool you want to use to do blending. I'm not using my finger because I don't want the oils from my finger to rub off onto my paper and stain my paper. When I go in with my darker value, you can see that adding just that little bit of extra dark value really makes the image pop. So you might be thinking, oh, it looks really good, but then when you add that darker value in select areas, it really makes it pop and look more dimensional, more realistic, and that's awesome when you start looking at how does that fit in with the proportion. So when you are working, you want to think about your light areas, your dark areas, how can you add value to make it look more three-dimensional, and thinking about the planes of your face. Like under your nose is going to be darker. Under where your eyebrows are probably going to be a little bit darker. Your top lip is always going to be a little bit darker. Underneath where your chin is going to be darker. And that's all because they face away from the light source. So I'm really excited to see what you do when you create your portraits.